night so I could film this, and I was hoping he would walk by so I could figure out what was going on. I guess the only thing to do now is to go talk to the owner, probably tomorrow. See if we can get this straightened out. That wasn't really a nice stand. It wasn't that expensive. That whole setup's about $100. But still, it's $100, and it was kind of a pain to put up, and now it's gone. So I wish he'd just taken it down and left it on the ground. I don't know how long he left that sign up before he took it down or what, but I would have taken it down if I'd have seen it, and I would have tried to get it figured out, but I don't know. It's too bad. What's interesting is that he didn't take the lifeline, so apparently whoever it was is not too concerned about safety. This setup was working perfectly. I was just sitting here at the base of this tree and I was fidgeting around. I wasn't really paying attention, and there were 4 or 5 deer that were going to come through. It worked out perfectly. It was just at first light, so I don't know what they were, but they ran off and I spooked. I don't know. I ran into several deer on the way in, so they were moving this morning. Well, alright, so I just got home, and on the way home I decided to stop by the business that I have permission to hunt from, and the gates were open, so I decided I would stop in there and see if anyone knew what was going on. And so I stopped in there and talked to the owner, and the several owners and the guy that gave me permission, and none of them knew anything about it, and they said they don't care if I hang a stand. I was on the right place. It was their land, so they didn't know anything about it, and there's some older gentlemen, so they don't ever really go over there, and they think that the neighbor or someone just used it as their own, and I don't know. It seems to be the case because there's paths mowed over there and some firewood cut, but they don't know who would have done it, and they don't know the neighbors at all. So I guess the next step is trying to find who did it, because whoever did it not only stole my stand, but they trespassed, and trespassed a lot to steal my stand. So I don't know, and it's like they genuinely think it's their land when it's not. So how awesome is this natural blind? So I had bad luck. My stand got stolen, and I guess this is pretty good luck because this blind will do. It's in another Well, it's starting to get darker. We have about 15 minutes of shooting light left. But we're gonna talk real quick. You hear people talking about the October lull all the time, and maybe I've just had good luck this year, but I've gone out in October 6 times, and 5 of those 6 sets I've seen deer. So it's all about timing and location, because it can be really slow, but if you can hunt these cold fronts like I've been trying to do, they seem to be on their feet quite a bit. I saw 2, I think they're the same 2 I saw earlier, but tonight was a cold front. I hunted my buddy's place yesterday with him, and that was the first day of the cold front. I don't know if you can see on camera, but you can see my breath, and it was up in the high 70s, lower 80s in the beginning of the week, and tomorrow it's supposed to get back up in that range, but tonight it's supposed to be down in the mid-30s, I think. So I decided I was going to go out here again. I wasn't planning on hunting, but I made it out here and saw a couple deer. Even if I don't see any more, it's worth coming out. So alright guys, it's time to go hunting. I'm out here with my buddy Jack. Went hunting on some ground of his a while back, so I took him out to this public ground because I know another good spot. And so I just dropped him off, and if anyone else kills that big deer doubles, I hope it's him. If it's not me, so hopefully he'll have a good hunt. We're actually rooming together next year at Iowa, so hopefully we'll have a good hunt. I'm going to go up here to this natural blind and see if we can see something. Scrape. Alright, I should probably try to be quiet. The corn is still in, which is kind of surprising. I thought it'd be out by now, but oh well. There's another scrape along this field edge. There was also there's another one. light's starting to fade here. We have about 10 or 12 minutes left of shooting light. Didn't see anything. I thought I saw something over there, but I could have been hallucinating. It's kind of weird. I thought this would be a really good set because of the conditions, but sometimes this happens. So. If you remember last time, I left a note on that private property sign from that guy who stole my stand. So I left a note saying to either call me so we can get it figured out, or just placed it at the bottom of the tree so I can come get it. So I haven't gotten any calls, so I don't know. I guess I'll go over there and check to see if it's at the base of the tree, but I'm not hopeful at all. So
Alright guys, just made it back to the truck. So kind of a long night turned into a pretty crazy hunt. About I don't know, 2 minutes after I put all the camera stuff away, Jack had texted me and I got out my phone, responded to him, and the phone was bright, so my eyes were kind of dim. And about that time I looked up and I heard something walking and I could see it was a deer. He had a big body and my eyes were kind of dim, so I couldn't see anything, and it was probably the minute of last shooting light. So I couldn't really see it. I finally managed to, and I had everything put away. I didn't have an arrow nocked. I had I had my backpack on, and I was literally grabbing my bow to leave when I saw this deer. And he walked out a little ways, and I finally got my rangefinder out and was going to see if I could get more light through that to see his rack. And I got it out, and I could see he had a big frame, and for some reason I noticed he had a lot of mass. So he was a big deer, and I thought, okay, I better try to shoot him. I didn't know what he was. I don't know if he was doubles. I don't know if he was really that big, but he looked big, the glimpse of him I saw. And he walked to a scrape that I had found on the way in, and I heard him start raking some leaves out. So I threw my pack off, set the camera down and stuff, and got an arrow nocked, because at this point I could still see the silhouette of his body, and I thought I could be able to see my pins. And if he worked that scrape for probably two minutes almost before he started walking again, and I drew, and I knew it was an open shot. Could see the silhouette of his body. Had the pin, well, couldn't see my pin at that point, but I knew where it should have been. And I was putting pressure on the trigger, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't take this shot. I'm not sure if it was after legal shooting or not, but I just, I don't know. I'm probably going to regret it, because probably could have made the shot work. I don't know. Probably could have shot it, but I ended up letting down, and that's when my nerves really started kicking in. My whole body was shaking, and he walked to the left a little bit, and I grunted at him after I got my grunt tube out, and he started coming towards me, and I'm like, all right, if he gets to like 5 or 10 yards and I can actually see him, I'm going to shoot him. So he gets about 20 yards away from me, but on the other side of this thick stuff, and starts making another scrape, and does that for maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, and it's almost dark now, and finally he starts walking away. But super exciting. I wish it could have worked out. I know I'll probably regret it if I don't shoot a big deer this year. I'll regret not taking that shot, but I'd be regretting it if I wounded him or missed him and spooked him. So I don't know, kind of a losing situation. Jack here had a fun night too. He walked by a hunter going to his stand, and he texted me that, so I was kind of upset for him. I hope he didn't ruin his hunt, but he ended up finding a place to sit, and he saw this. Well, he had been dozing off, and then all of a sudden something comes up behind him, and it got like right on the other side of him, like 4 feet from me, he said. And he's like, what the heck? Who is out here? I don't know what's going on. And so he's sitting there like this, and finally this deer poked his head around the tree, right, like as close as we are to each other, and it's this 8-point, and it scares the crap out of him. But he said it probably wasn't a shooter anyway, and so he didn't shoot it anyway. And he also saw a coyote at about 55 yards, he said. big one, but it winded him and took off. The footage from the sit was kind of boring, but it ended up being a pretty productive night. And I went all the way around the long way, probably about an extra mile walk. It was ridiculous, through some of the tallest grass and thickest crap you could imagine. Jack texted me, he's like, "You okay? Thought you died." Oh man, but alright, we're out here. I should probably stop talking. Let's go home.
See you later.